The morning of December 7th, 1941, saw Pearl Harbor awake to a Japanese surprise attack intended to remove the United States from World War II before this sleeping giant awoke. What did Japan see in this isolationist nation that caused them such fear? Japanese imperial expansion had resulted in embargoes levied by the United States and her allies, which, if left intact, would significantly reduce Japan's ability to wage war. While conflict seemed inevitable, Japan made the curious decision to strike first in an attempt to deliver a crippling blow before the US could direct its full attention at the Eastern power. The US was, and still is, a vast land of abundant crops and natural resources. It was also one of the most thoroughly industrialized nations of the world. Paul Kennedy, a Yale historian, ranked the major players in World War II, factoring in industrial capacity, agricultural production, and economic power, among other things. He ranked the United States with a war potential of 41.7%, followed by Germany at 14.4% and the USSR at 14%. The American way was one of hard work and high rewards. It was this that the Japanese and even the Germans feared, the industrial capacity and weighted determination of the American people. Admiral Yamamoto wrote this response to the outcome of Pearl Harbor to a Japanese journalist. "A military man can scarcely pride himself on having smitten a sleeping enemy. It is more a matter of shame simply for the one smitten. I would rather you made your appraisal after seeing what the enemy does, since it is certain that, angered and outraged, he will soon launch a determined counterattack." And what followed on the industrial front, as well as the war front, was indeed a determined counterattack. Over the next 4 years, American shipyards built 6 battleships to Japan's 2, 99 aircraft carriers to Japan's 18, and 206 destroyers to Japan's 63. These US ships were built assembly line style, with major components being manufactured across the country and transported by rail. In the case of the Liberty cargo ships, sections weighing up to 250 tons were transported at a time. Shipyard competed against shipyard to produce more ships at a faster and faster rate, with one Liberty ship being built in just 4 days, 15 hours, and 29 minutes. It represented an unprecedented level of unity and organization on the home front. This was the type of industrialized effort that was also put into building planes for aerial bombardment, amphibious landing crafts for beach assaults, and tanks for advances on the ground. It was one of the major factors that led the Allies to victory. And from this standpoint, it could be argued that World War II was won based on economics and industry just as much as by military might. Most historians would also agree that the Cold War, ended by the economic collapse of the USSR, was likewise largely a result of Western industrial capacity led by the US. However, the US has not been faced with a large opponent like the USSR or the Axis powers since. We now live in the age of a global economy where almost all countries are connected through trade, industry, and economics. The US has continued to be an economic powerhouse and today is still the world's #1 economy by a number of standards. However, there have long been concerns of jobs being outsourced to foreign countries as businesses seek to increase profitability, especially in manual labor jobs of resource extraction and heavy industry. Steel production has long been a sound metric of a nation's industrial might, both due to the processes required in creating quality steel and due to its widespread use in all manner of construction and manufacturing. Increased production indicates a strong economy that requires that material. Looking at the years 2000 to 2017, US steel production declined 20% from over 101,000 metric tons to around 80,000, while at the same time Chinese steel production rose a whopping 647.2% from 128,500 metric tons to over 830,000. If industrial and economic power is increasingly shifting away from Western countries, specifically the United States and Great Britain, how long until we see the capacity to wage war in our efforts to protect or impose global interests and uphold international law go along with it? I'm Jonathan Riley for Tomorrow's World Viewpoint. Subscribe and click the notification bell to receive updates about new content. Visit tomorrowsworld.org for more articles, telecasts, and booklets.